Hey. Time for another Out of This World story from rSpace. Today on rSpace, we see how easy it is to go through life living in regrets and focusing on the negative things of the past. It can be a challenge to shake off what has held you back and move forward towards a bright future. But as long as you focus on the negative baggage from yesterday, it's going to keep you from getting to where you want to go. Focusing on your past mistakes, what hurt you and what didn't work out, can only stop you from the bright future you envisioned. Up first, it all started with a game of Scrabble. I screwed my ex's mom because she cheated on me. This story could be 9 pages long, but I'm drunk and too lazy to write this out. My ex was a super cool chick, but after she went to college, she joined a sorority and went wild. That's cool, we all go nuts. My high school friend, that was a gamer. We would YOLO, gamble each other in CSGO cases. Great guy, heart of gold. He went to the same college as my ex. Random party night, my homie saw my ex go into a bathroom with a rando guy at a party. From what he said, they were in there for at least 20 minutes, obviously not playing Scrabble. I trust this guy implicitly. He's a stand-up bro. Long story short, he called me the next day, told me the whole story, and was apologizing the whole time. I was obviously upset. I knew it was the truth. I told him thanks for the info, and just don't say anything. So fast forward 5 months later, my ex's mom just finalized her divorce. At this point, I hadn't confronted my ex in regards to the cheating. I'm shallow, she was hot, and down for anything. What can I say? I'm an idiot. So, random weekend, my ex's mom was out partying with her wino friends. We were drinking at their house and quite wasted. My ex was big on dabs. I smoke a lot, but dabs just hit different for me. I'd rather just crash the F out than hang out. So I tended to avoid them. My ex rips 4 dabs and just zonks out. Stands up, looking blind, and says, "I'm going to lay down and go upstairs." So at this point, I'm just drunk relaxing in the house that divorce bought. I keep drinking and toss on HBO. Went with good old Entourage, and I hear the door slam open. It's my ex's mom. My ex's mom was always super cool, not crazy good looking, 6.5-ish out of 10, but just fun to be around, always drinking and having fun. So I'm on the sofa watching Entourage. I raise a glass and say, "What's up?" I've always been good with parents. I make a lot of jokes and I'm polite. She's very bubbly and says, "My name, you're here." I laugh and say, "Yeah, your daughter's asleep." She sits down next to me and says, "How's your night?" in a way that's not only too loud, but just pressing the point she's wasted. I tell her, "Your daughter and I were drinking. She was pretty sleepy and went to bed." She laughs and says, "If you touched my tequila, I'll kill you both." I laugh, raise my glass, validating the whiskey that was in it, probably remnants from my ex's dad's stash. She stands up, grabs the tequila, and comes back to the couch and says, "It's only 1 a.m. My cycling class is until 1 p.m. Let's drink." Honestly, at this point, I'm having the classic angel devil on my shoulder situation. My ex cheated on me, not to say her mom would F me at this point, but I knew I was trekking into uncharted water. I trusted my gut and said, F it. So, we go back and forth for about 6 rounds of tequila. The bottle is almost polished off. I'm wasted AF, but I knew this was retribution for my ex being a piece of crap cheater. Long story short, we finished that bottle, and I came twice. I broke up with my ex 3 weeks later. Never F'd the mom again, but left that house feeling even. Cheers, my Reddit friends. That's definitely a night you'll remember forever, OP. Seemed like you were both in a super vulnerable place in life, and you both needed whatever that was in that moment. I wouldn't necessarily agree with the cheating on your ex because she cheated on you type of thing, but hey, at least you broke it all off after that. Your friend is an absolute champ to have told you what he saw, but I feel like maybe confronting your girlfriend would have been a better option than going from there. What happens if it ever turned out that your friend was wrong or was making it up? Sometimes it's best to know all the facts before jumping into the deep end. What are your thoughts? Up next, this OP had to kiss this frog to get to her prince. I caught my boyfriend cheating on me when we were on a call. So my boyfriend's friend recently got engaged. His friend wanted to celebrate, and for some reason, he decided to celebrate at a strip club. I was not okay with this at first, but my boyfriend said that it would hold him back from hanging out with his friends and he couldn't congratulate his friend. So I let him, because I wasn't very worried that he would cheat on me. He has been very clear that he loves me and would never break my heart. My boyfriend left and came back around 2:45 a.m. I was sleeping, but then he woke me up because he was being loud in the kitchen. I didn't realize he was laughing, so I went back to bed. The next morning, he was a little distant. I thought he had just had a few too many drinks. I went to go see what he was doing, but he wouldn't let me see his phone. I asked him why he wouldn't let me see his phone. He just didn't answer me. But I had to go to work, so I left. I was worried at work, so I decided to tell my boss I was not feeling good. I called my boyfriend, and in the background, I heard someone, and that person was moaning. I drove home so fast I was pissed, but when I got home, no one was home. I forgot to tell you, me and my boyfriend lived together. I called him again, and he said that he was with his friends. I didn't believe he was, so I called most of his friends, and they said that he said that I was with him. I went home, and he was there. I went off on him. But he said he made a new friend at the strip club. I decided that I was going to come home early from work the next day, and I did. I also forgot to mention he doesn't have a job. Well, I found him and a random girl in our bed. I asked him so many questions, and he told me that he met her at the strip club. I broke up with him, and he is still with that girl. Our first comment comes from Scorpio BW 1980. Girl, if he was willing to bring home another girl and put her in the bed you two share every night, I guarantee you this isn't the first time he has cheated and lied to you. Just the other times he got away with it. He has no job. He's not providing you with anything. The only thing he is going to give you is wrinkles from worrying about his butt. Leave him be. Don't go back to him. It will hurt for a month or so, but you'll be fine. I promise. Next comment from Abbreviations FAR 7867. No great loss, OP. You dodged some serious artillery shells there. Different Management 1 chimes in. What a scumbag. Be glad he's gone. Noah Broad 2615 has one more comment. Sounds like a serious loser. Blessings come in mysterious ways. Be thankful you got rid of this joker and you will find a good person in the future. I'm so sorry he turned out to be someone you didn't even know, OP. It's super unfortunate when people betray our trust like that. It's a good thing that you left him. He proved to you who he was, and you don't deserve any of that. Let him be the jobless cheater who left you for someone that he met at a strip club. Focus on you. Chase your dreams and goals. The future is bright ahead. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Up next, high school sweethearts gone wrong. My dad left his mistress's nudes on the family iPad. My 17 female dad, 45 male, has been sus for years now, but he's been getting more sus lately. I've always noticed his weird behaviors, like being super secretive with his phone, ignoring my mom's requests, him taking a video of himself while being all smiley and crap. I've always wondered, who the F does he send that crap to? I kinda wish I didn't find out. Growing up, I've always admired my family. My self-esteem has always been low. If I wasn't pretty enough, if I wasn't smart enough, if my life is crap, if I'm not popular, if I suck, then what the F is my fortune, my blessing? I always thought to myself, at least I have an amazing family. I have the best mother, the best father, and the most loving brother that anyone could have. I feel loved. I feel so lied to after finding out that my dad has been cheating on my mom for 2 years. Ugh. Partially, it was a good thing that he left those nude pictures there. At least I know the truth now. Out of impulse, I know this is dumb, I confronted my dad about this and we talked. I asked him a lot of questions and his answers really broke my heart, fully. What he felt about my mom, his mistress, his life, my parents' teenage years and so on, it really tore me apart. I really thought that my family and I were happy. FML, to be honest. I don't know what to do. Any advice? I want my family back, desperately. Our first comment comes from Unicorn Kitten. There's too many people getting together as teenagers than just never breaking up because they're too comfortable. Your brain doesn't even finish growing until 25. Who you are when you're 18 is nothing like the person you are when you're 38. Said literally every person I have spoken to who is over the age of 30. I'm sure your parents got pressured into staying together somehow, and that just sucks. It's just a sucky situation all around. He should have divorced your mom though, not cheated. Cheating is just so much worse. I'm sorry. Next comment from Sparky 1841. I'm going a different direction than all these other comments here that say tell your mother. Well, after 2 years, my guess is your mother knows and will be heartbroken that you now know. I do agree that you need to be a great supporting daughter to your mom, but listen to the rest of my comment. You are pretty enough. You are smart enough. If your life is crap, take this into consideration. Most everyone else's life is crap too. Very, very few live Instagram-worthy lives. In fact, I know of no one that does. You are popular enough. You do not suck. You are the perfect you. You are one and only. You still have an amazing family that has big problems, but I suspect you are going to be all right. It's a super weird and jarring time to find out our parents aren't who we thought they were. That being said, it's shocking to discover that someone you loved and trusted was hiding things from you and living a different life behind your back. It's not easy to find out such a thing, but it's also a good sign that your father felt comfortable and became vulnerable enough to talk to you when you confronted him. Or he just got caught with his pants down and had no choice. No pun intended. It also puts you in an unfair situation. He should have never been placed in such a position, and your father's irresponsible choices put you and your family where you are. Divorce isn't easy, especially when there's infidelity involved. He should have communicated with your mother about how he was feeling. I'm sorry you had to find out this way. I would have encouraged your father to open up to your mother and encourage transparency between them. This is not on you. This is on them. What would you do in this situation? Let us know in the comments below. Our last OP navigates the woes of young love. She wanted to go with her ex to Germany. This happened a few years ago when I, 23 male, was dating a very attractive girl, 22 female. I'll call B. We were in a monogamous, long-term relationship, and she started talking to an ex-boyfriend who was a foreign exchange student. He lived in the US for 2 years and dated B while he was here. His family was extremely wealthy and paid for everything. They even covered B's expenses when they took her to Germany to visit. They were forced to end their relationship when he returned home after the exchange program ended. She was not planning on moving to Germany to be with him, and he was not coming back. This relationship was in high school, so years before I met B, the one that got away. So I started dating B in college, and we had a good relationship. One day out of the blue, she tells me Martin called her to see how she has been. I'm not the jealous type and felt there was no reason to be concerned due to the distance. Apparently, they had been talking regularly throughout our relationship. She goes on to tell me Martin has invited her to visit him in Germany, and he would cover all her expenses again. She tells me she decided to go. How can I turn down a free trip to Germany? She promises me she is only friends and wouldn't do anything sexual with him. I started asking about her previous trip with him. She told me about him and the sexual escapades they had their last trip when we were discussing prior relationships earlier in our relationship. She said that the sex was in the past and would never happen again. I told her a wealthy man in Germany wants to pay your airfare and accommodations after not seeing you for 4 years. He wants and expects sex, especially since that's what you did during your last encounter. I gave her an ultimatum and she chose Germany. We broke up and I moved on. She apparently didn't believe I would leave her over something so insignificant, and I should trust her. This would eat me alive if I stayed. I would never find out the truth. Another post from the OP. My first serious girlfriend. This is the story of how my first girlfriend cheated on me and mistakes I made dealing with everything. I have learned a lesson from this experience and served me well later in life. I was a stupid, naive kid at the time. When this happened, I was 17 male and found the love of my life. She was 16 female. I thought I found the one and no one could tell me otherwise. We dated for a year and a half, which is long for high school, and had a good relationship. We didn't argue or fight. We spent as much time as possible with each other. We even lost our virginities to each other. Everything was fine until one day she told me she was being harassed by a guy on her bus home. She said he was sitting next to her and trying to touch her leg. She told me she denied his attempts and pushed him away. I knew this guy. His name was Boomer, yes, actual name, and was the big dumb jock type. This type of activity continued for a couple of weeks and she continued to tell me what he was doing, trying to flirt and touch my girlfriend. One day it changed and he followed her off the bus. She told me he bought her a teddy bear and wanted her to have it. She was alone with him in a rural area in her front yard. She told me when she took the bear, he grabbed her and pushed her to the ground. He got on top of her and started feeling her tits and trying to pull her shirt off. She said she resisted and he eventually stopped and walked away. When she told me, I was ready to fight him and go to the police. She immediately said no and wanted to leave it go. I asked what she did with the bear, and she told me she kept it. I had many questions, but it seemed to be resolved after that incident. She never said anything else happened. The next month was weird. She seemed fine, but one day she was completely distant. She didn't want to talk or see me. She insisted nothing was wrong and I let it go. A week later, with the same odd behavior, I overheard her mother say something to my girlfriend that caught me off guard. You can't ride 2 horses with one ass. I confronted her later that day. She didn't have the courage to tell me, but apparently had written about the incident in a secret diary. She accidentally left it out on her bed, and her mom found it and read it. My girlfriend handed it to me and said, "Read." It was written like a porno novel with great detail. Apparently, she had a friend come over and pick her up to hang out. This was a different guy, too. Not even the same sexual harasser boomer that was after her before. I read he picked her up to have sex. He drove her to a local park and climbed into the back seat. They made out for a while, and he eventually got her pants off. I read this in shock. I didn't know how to react. My age and lack of experiences drove me to poor decision-making. I forgave her after many long talks and arguments. We dated a few more months until the behavior repeated itself. This time, with my friend and teammate. I finally wised up and broke up. The amount of pain she caused me completely screwed me up mentally. I still think about this years later. How stupid I was and how forgiving. Lesson learned. Our first community reaction comes from Ray and Sar. Hey man, I can understand how the first love relationship can be emotionally damaging. Thank you for taking it off your chest. I hope you're doing great and find the one. Next thought from Classy Prof. Wanted to let you know that I read every word. Have a prize for sharing and being vulnerable. The OP responds, yeah, it's one of those things. Maybe someone could get something out of it. Trust your gut feelings. They are usually right. NC Deep Diver says, I hope you beat the crap out of your teammate. It has nothing to do with the hoe you are dating. Teammates don't do things like that to each other. It hurts the whole team. I had a kid in college try to pull that crap with my girlfriend. He was a kid I played lacrosse with since we were 12 years old. She shut him down immediately and told me about it, what he was trying to do. We were both starting attack on our college lacrosse team, and he got the crap kicked out of him in practices by the whole team, and no one on the team would pass the ball to him in practices or in games until the coaches got involved and benched him. Me and my girlfriend came from the same small town as he did. I spent a lot of time at his house growing up. His parents even called trying to get me to forgive him because they were tired of driving to our games to watch him sit on the bench. I hate cheaters. When you're young, it's so easy to overlook the red flags. We want so hard to love and be loved in return. Having strong feelings for someone can wreck you, but it teaches you to think twice before making choices you might regret later. It's not always a fairy tale, and sometimes you lose yourself while you try to save someone else, but it's young love, and we're bound to hurt, stumble, and fall over obstacles. Having relationships early on in life like this can have lasting effects on how we handle future relationships, as well as our coping strategies. Like you said, lesson learned, and because of that, you were able to walk away from your ex, B. What do you wish you could tell your younger self about young love? Let us know in the comments below. And as always, thank you for joining us today. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. Let us know what you thought of today's content in the comments below. See you next time on rSpace.